What's going on, everyone? This is Erik with Full Man MMA, and today I am joined by UFC bantamweight Nathaniel Wood. Nathaniel, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you, mate. I would have been better if I got to fight on Saturday night, but such is life. So, but yeah, I'm breathing, I'm healthy. So I'm doing well.
Of course, and apologies about that. I know we're really looking forward to seeing you back in there. It's been a longer layoff for you with the hand injury. I'm assuming, you took the fight, so you are certainly feeling much better, but are there any long-standing issues with the couple hand injuries that you had this past year?
No, at the moment, touch wood, my hand injuries are back to normal. They're all, fine. The hand's absolutely fine. I've been, unloaded on the training. So it's doing fine. I don't want to jinx it. But yeah, I was ready to rock on Saturday night. I was healthy. I was in great condition. So yeah, I just have to remain healthy now and get back in there as soon as I can.
Of course, and your opponent Vince Morales, pulled out. It was like a last minute thing. When did you initially find out about him pulling out, and what was the initial reason that you heard?
I think it was the Wednesday I found out. And then obviously on the Thursday was the day that I would have started cutting my weight. So obviously the Wednesday is a bit like, oh man, this is putting me in a bit of an awkward situation. And I just heard that he was unwell. I think COVID-like symptoms, but he didn't have COVID. He just had a bit of temperature. If I'm honest, I was thinking, it's just jet lag. But yeah, I don't know. So I know if it was me, I wouldn't be pulling out of anything until the UFC literally turn around and say, you are not fighting. So it is what it is. I did message him and say, look, I hope you're okay, and I hope, you're healthy and it's nothing too serious. And he seemed fine. I did see him at the event, just walking around absolutely fine. So I don't know, man, but yeah, it is what it is. Hopefully we can reschedule the fight and, get it back on.
I was going to say, is that, obviously I'm sure you want to get back in as soon as possible. You just had, the long layoff, training camp, already started slimming down. You're in incredible shape on your Instagram. Is that still the fight you want? You still want to fight Vince Morales?
Yeah, for sure. I'm happy to get a fight rescheduled quite soon if it's with Vince Morales. It's kind of like right, we've meant to fight. Let's quickly get it rescheduled. If he's not up for it and, he's got other commitments or whatever, cool. Let's, go back to the drawing board. Start afresh. When are we fighting? Who are we fighting? What fight camp are we having? That sort of thing. But yeah, the Vince Morales fight is a really good matchup for me. I look at that stylistically and he matches up perfect for my style. So, I believe with the way he fights, I'll either knock him out very quickly or it will be a fight of the night performance. He comes to bang. I would never overestimate him at all. Underestimate him. And yeah, I'd like to fight him, and it would be a good, fun, enjoyable fight.
I couldn't agree more. Was there ever any talk from the UFC? Obviously, this would be extremely last minute, but of filling somebody in when they heard on Wednesday that he couldn't make it to the fight?
No. So basically, there was a name floating about. I don't know if I should mention it, but it was none of the names that people were coming up with on Twitter and whatnot. But the guy couldn't get the medicals in time. Then there was a couple of names that people were calling me out on Twitter. So I was actually putting that forward to my manager, saying, look, what about this guy? What about this guy? I think, they were putting it on to the matchmakers, but obviously the UFC weren't interested in them. Because I think people think, because Nathaniel needs a matchup, they must sign. And I think it was Ilya Chapora's brother. People were saying, he's fighting you. You've turned him down. He's 3-1. The UFC ain't going to sign him. Do you know what I mean? I don't think he's even beat anyone with a winning record. So as game as I am to fight, the UFC will not sign you just because I need an opponent. Do you know what I mean? I'm a very small fish in a big pond. So just because I am out of an opponent doesn't mean that the UFC are just going to go and sign anyone. If that was the case, I would go and get one of my teammates and say, hey, bro, let's quickly get in the UFC. So yeah, unfortunately there was no names. It was the final option I got was reschedule the fight or make weight and potentially if anything happens with the Jack Shaw or Timia, then maybe you could fill in. Obviously, they were fine. They had a good fight. So yeah, it's all about now just rescheduling the fight. And if Vince Morales doesn't want it, then we'll just move on and get something else in the pipeline.
How does that work when something like that happens? Because, you already, you didn't start the actual weight cut, but you were already slimming down, preparing for the weight cut. I'm assuming you paid for the training camp. Is there any kind of like compensation in place for when these like really last minute situations happen when a fight gets canceled, or are you kind of left on your own?
Yeah, so because obviously it's not my doing, I was there to fight. I obviously was originally booked in with Liudvik, who obviously pulled out for good reasons. Turn up, I'm at the UFC, checked in, I'm ready to go. So it's not my fault. So I will be compensated, let's say. But at the moment, I'm just still waiting to find out when the money's going to come into my bank, that sort of thing. But yeah, it's never going to take away that I didn't get to fight. The best way I can describe it is you're queuing up for a ride at the theme park for hours on end. You get to the front and they say your ride's been cancelled, but don't worry, we'll give you a refund. You're still not going to be happy. So even though, yes, the UFC will compensate me, I still didn't get to fight. I still didn't get to go out there in that filled out O2 arena and put on a show for my friends, family and fans. And that hurt. I was there at the show, I was watching it, and the show was amazing. So it was bittersweet. I had really good tickets. I got to watch the fights, but inside it was killing me, man. I was watching everyone perform, and I can't lie, it sucked watching it. So yeah, what I've got to do now is just wait for the next one and hope that I get on there.
Yeah, no, I can't even imagine. And I do want to ask you about some of your thoughts on UFC London, because it was such a spectacular, it was like a pay-per-view, the amount of hype that was behind it. But before I do, I was wondering, do you have any idea of when the UFC might be able to make this fight happen again?
I'm not too sure. I don't want to say any dates potentially, but I'm hoping that we might be able to get it rescheduled in the next sort of 5 weeks or something. That would be ideal. I think Vince Morales is fit and healthy. So, it's just a case of him agreeing to fight me, and then, we can get it going.
Perfect. And, this was initially supposed to be the only fight to take place in the UK this year. But after the event, I know Aspinall wanted to go back to the UK. Dana White said he was going to move some things around to try to get back into the UK this year. If that does happen, I'm sure it would be pretty important for you to try to get on that card if they do have another one there, right?
Yeah, 100%. And especially if it's in London. And I'm the only London guy on the UFC roster. So, it feels a bit weird that we're at the UFC London and there's no Londoners on there, So yeah, I'd like to think that they're going to put me on that. If it's not in London and it's in UK, whether it's in Liverpool or Manchester or anywhere, count me in, man. I'm all down for performing in front of my hometown. So, I represent my country, and, I'd like to do that on the biggest platform there is, which is the UFC.
Of course. And, obviously, like you said, it would have been fantastic for you to be able to fight at this event, but just the fact that you were still able to be there live, like you said, you are the only UFC fighter from the city of London. What was that experience like? I would imagine you were pretty proud, just because the atmosphere at the O2 Arena seemed unlike anything that like I've ever seen in the States, that we see in other parts of the world. How cool is that for you as somebody from the city to see them rally around the fighters like that?
It's like you said, it's a proud feeling. And it's exactly what I expected. I knew exactly what the arena was going to be like. And especially when we've been out of a fight for 3 years now, I think was the last one in the O2. So yeah, it didn't surprise me whatsoever. But yeah, it's a good feeling, man. You're like, I'm proud. The countries, they're all filled out the arena. And the fans are amazing, man. Honestly, we've got such a good fan base for fighters in MMA. The way people got behind everyone was amazing. So I'm just gutted that I didn't get to feel that, man. It's been like 3 years since I fought in front of a crowd. Obviously the Fight Island shows were all in closed arena, so I missed that buzz, man. Yeah, so soon, the cream always rises to the top. So
absolutely, yeah, and especially if it's back in the UK, I know I'd love to see you on that card. But there were some really spectacular performances that night from a lot of fellow English men and women. Molly McCann spinning elbow. I mean, that should hold up for knockout of the year, no?
It was a pretty amazing knockout. And I had to admit, I was quite concerned for her opponent because she was out for a long time, man. But yeah, you know, what a performance, what a knockout. So yeah, she done good, man. Really good.
And I was also curious, her close friend and teammate, Paddy Pimblett, obviously big star in the sport right now. Everyone's talking about Paddy Pimblett. But just his walkout was like a whole experience of its own with the UK fans behind him. I was just watching on TV in the middle of the day here in the US, and it still gave me chills. What was that walkout like in person?
Yeah, it was amazing. I fought on a card with him on Cage Warriors in Liverpool back 2017, I think. And even then, you know, when he walked out to his Cage Warriors fight, the whole arena, I think there was 7,000 people were all behind him, you know, and they really do support him. So, you know, he's got a massive fan base over in Liverpool. And yeah, you know, it's amazing, man. I wish him all the best, and he's got to keep doing what he's doing and winning fights and, you know, getting those checks in.
Absolutely. And your boy Arnold Allen too, with a crazy knockout on somebody like Dan Hooker. Did you expect that from him? He's always been a more methodical fighter so far in the UFC. I mean, that was unlike anything we've seen from him in a long time.
Yeah, not many people realize how hard that boy hits. You know, he has got some power behind him. So I did think, you know, Dan Hooker coming down to featherweight, you know, I don't know how hard the weight cut was for him. But I'm thinking, mate, you know, you don't want to get hit by Arnold Allen, especially if you cut a lot of weight. Obviously, where he was super tall as well, Dan Hooker, I was just thinking, you know, he's going to get caught if he's got his chin too high. And I think he might have been a bit too relaxed. You know, obviously, he had an absolute war with Dustin Poirier. You know, he's obviously, you know, he's been through some battles. But, you know, when you're cutting down to another weight category lower and you've got someone like Arnold Allen who's got some serious punching power, you know, I didn't expect anything less from him.
Yeah, it was a spectacular performance. I was glad to see everyone got a bonus that got a finish. So that was great. Before I let you go here, I was also curious. In a couple of weeks, we're going to have the bantamweight title fight, the rematch between Aljamain Sterling and Petr Yan. Is that something that you're going to be watching closely as somebody, you know, looking in and making his rise up to the title picture?
Yeah, 100%. And just on a fan basis, you know, it's a great matchup. You know, it's a great fight, especially with how the first fight originally, you know, ended. I'm excited to watch it. So I hope Aljamain Sterling gets it. You know, I've trained with him before personally, so, you know, we have a slight little friendship there, let's say. But yeah, man, that's going to be a tough fight. So I'm excited for that one.
For sure. Well, Nathaniel, it was great having you on today. You've been so generous with your time. I want to give you the floor now. Anything you want to shout out, promote, teammates, sponsors, the floor is yours.
Just thank you, obviously, everyone who supports me, my sponsors, family, friends, teammates, and fans around the world. Means a lot. You know, I won't go specific names because I'll forget someone. And follow me on Instagram, Twitter at The Prospect MMA. And thank you for yourself as well. I'm sorry I'm late. I was meant to meet half an hour ago. So, yeah, I appreciate you waiting for me.
No, it's no worries at all. We'll link all that in the description below so everyone can follow. But Nathaniel, it was great talking to you today. I can't wait to see what your future holds.
I can't wait either, mate. So thank you for having me.
Of course. Hey everyone, thanks for watching this video. If you like our content, be sure to subscribe to Full Man MMA. And while you're at it, make sure to hit the bell icon as well so you never miss an update from us.